And we're live. Welcome to the Lifestyle Tips with me, Rob. This is a tip session for you just to help you with your fitness and your goals. And tonight we're going to talk about metabolism and how do you increase yours. Lots of ways of increasing your metabolism. So let's start off about what is metabolism, why do we need to work on it, and then let's give you some tips on how you can improve it. So metabolism is the process by which your body converts what you eat and what you drink into energy. I was on a lecture this lunchtime, which is all about gut biome. And interesting enough, the gut biome, i.e. what's around in here, is massive, absolutely massive. In terms of your body, there used to be a belief that there was 10 trillion cells within our body. And then the research improved and we suddenly realized actually there are 10 trillion cells and 10 trillion bacteria within our body, 50% of that within our gut. And now the latest research suggests actually it's bigger than we ever thought. 10 trillion human cells, but roughly around 100 trillion bacteria. And the bacteria of our gut is massively important to keep them healthy. It's a huge amount. So 90% of your body is effectively this bacteria of our gut biome. Now, there's new theories that come out all the time about all of this. There's books by Dr. Michael Mosley, Paul Chek, various other brilliant authors out there that will tell you about the gut biome, about how it's important to keep it in balance and keep it in check. Ideally, what we want to do is keep the balance between the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, i.e. the ones that we've brought in and we've polluted our body with, to around an 85% to 15% mix. And the reason behind that is it's good to have some bad bacteria in our gut. Interesting thought. So, but the majority of it needs to be really good stuff for us. And the idea is that you need to try and increase, number one, water, and two, the amount of pure good food into your body. Whole foods are really, really important. Okay, so metabolism isn't just about what your body converts, how your body converts food and drink, but it's also about when you're at rest, the amount of energy that's needed for all the functions of the body. So think about that as everything that's used to help recreate and keep you alive. So breathing, circulating the blood, how your heart's working. Think about your hormone levels, how it's balancing and adjusting. And then most importantly, about how your body grows and repairs. And think about that in terms of needing sleep. That's a really, really important part. But also having the right balance in your life. And the number one thing I would urge you to think about is your stress level in your body at that point, because it's really important to keep that growth and repair of the body going. So if you've got a lot of stress in your life at the moment, home in about what it is. Stress is good for us, by the way. Stress is really important. Having things that challenge you, having cortisol effects, having adrenaline releases into your body, really, really important for you because it comes down to the primitive nature of the body. But it's also important not to have too much stress. And when you're feeling overloaded and overborne with all that's going on around you, you need to try and adjust and make time for yourself. That could be anything of the nature of things. Changing your home life, changing your friendships, changing your work balance. It could be taking time out for you. Some science that was out this week as well is that the minimum amount of time that you need outside every day is 24 minutes. That's the minimum. And I want you to think now about your day. Did you actually really get 24 minutes outside? That doesn't mean like being in your car. It means, yeah, okay, the time from you getting your car, from your house to your car, okay, that will count. But did you really get 24 minutes outside in the fresh air? Did you get the sunshine level in there? Did you get the human response that your body needs? Question it. And if you didn't, you need to make change, and you need it because you need to get your hormone levels right, and you need it to grow, and you need it to function and prosper. Okay, grab a drink of water. So how can you increase your metabolism? How can we increase the amount of calories that we burn? Loads of different ways about it. So we can increase our NEAT, our non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's the calories you burn by doing your day-to-days. Washing, your chores, you're moving day to day, going into a shower, etc. All these things burn calories. Brushing your teeth burns calories. It's great. But then there's something else that's called TEF, which is the thermal effect of food. So the amount of calories that you burn to break down food, the better the quality of food you put into your system, the more calories you burn. True. The amount of raw food that you put into your body and wholesome food takes longer to digest and process. You burn more calories. True. Protein is the number one to increase your metabolic rate. It takes roughly 15 to 30% of the calories that's brought in for food in protein to burn up to be able to break down all the amino acids that your body needs to be able to process and survive. So it's massive for you. The next one is carbohydrates. They burn about 5 to 10%, and fats are really low, about 0 to 3%, because they're quite easy for us to digest. Quite easy for us to digest because we need them to make vitamins work properly, for fat-soluble vitamins. Okay, so great thing about protein as well is it reduces a huge amount of leptin into our body. Leptin is the fuel source or the chemical that makes us feel full. So try and increase the amount of protein into your diet to increase your calories burn. They also found that one study of people that are eating the amount of calories they burn each day, and this is based on science, that if you reduce the amount of protein significantly, and protein is made up of fewer than 30% of your diet of each day, you burn around 400 calories less each day. It's a huge amount of reduction. So try and keep your protein levels as high as you can. Now, you'll hear me bang on about this in every single fitness class I teach, but another way of increasing it is water. Yeah, everyone frowns on that one, but it is the number one way of trying, in my opinion, to massively help you lose weight by keeping you feeling full, sustained for longer periods of time, also helping you hydrate. If you're doing a diet at the moment, whatever it is, there's loads out there. I'm not going to mention any of them, but whatever diet you're doing, think about this and what are you leveling to hydrate yourself with. If it's a sugary drink that you're putting in there, whatever, it's carbonated drinks, there's loads of those out there. I don't need to brand name any of those either, but try and replace those with pure water, okay? Get your body used to it, because when you finish your diet, and there will be a time when you stop doing your diet, because unless it's one that's sustainable for long term, like the Mediterranean diet or whatever, if it's not sustainable long term because you're on a calorie deficit, massive calorie deficit, whatever, are you realistically going to sustain it? And if you're not, then the water, the hydration you put into your body needs to be as natural as possible. And the reason behind that is this does not have calories in it, okay? So when you're drinking, you're not putting fuel into your body. Think of all fuel and food as fuel, okay? So water doesn't bring any carbohydrates, doesn't bring any energy really into your body. But drink cold water as much as you can. And the reason behind that is it will boost your metabolism. It will boost it because it's got to warm up the water you poured into it. This temperature of this water is 4 degrees. It's going into my system. My temperature inside my body is 37 degrees. I've got to burn this up and I've got to heat it up as well. So there's some science behind this to say that metabolism increases by 10 to 30% for an hour after drinking a pint of water. 10 to 30% increase just by drinking water, cold water. Get it in your system, see how it goes. And if you drink a pint of water before you eat, so if you've got your main meal, have a pint of water before each meal. Breakfast, lunchtime, snacks, specifically snacks as well. Try and drink that pint of water beforehand. And the reason behind it is it will make you feel fuller. Therefore, you'll want to eat less. And some studies have shown that people eat nearly half as much once they've had that pint of water first. Okay, so a really good top tip, get your water in. If you follow my training programs over at the Gym Tin, you'll know that I do high intensity interval training, and that's what we've just taught tonight. So tonight's was a strength training HIIT session. Absolutely brilliant. The training sessions are 20 minutes long. We do 5 exercises 3 times over, roughly training intensely for about 4 or 5 minutes. It's brilliant for you. It's a brilliant way of increasing your fat burn, increasing your metabolic rate, especially during the session, but also for an hour afterwards. Okay, it's believed that HIIT burns more fat than anything else out there. So in terms of endurance running, etc., HIIT is definitely great for doing it. And the reason behind it is obviously it's an intense period of training in a short period of time, blasting you, getting it burnt. So if you're time poor, this is one of the best things that you can do. So overweight people found that 12 weeks of high intensity interval training reduced fat mass by 4.4 pounds, 2 kilograms, but massively, and this is the key part of this research they did, they lost 17% belly fat, which I find really interesting. So measured obviously around the circumference of the body and worked out through that. So would you do like just consistently HIIT training Monday to Sunday? No, you wouldn't. You need to have rest periods in between it. You need to get the effects from it. But certainly training 3 times a week of HIIT training would be absolutely massive for you. And just mix it up with your training. So if you're a cyclist or a runner or whatever your sport is, mix up your HIIT training into it and you'll get some massive results. I'm going to do another talk about this next week. There's some loads and loads of points about why metabolism can be improved, but a quick recap of what we talked about so far today. So think about the quality of food and water that you're putting into your body. Okay, remember that your metabolism will increase naturally by increasing the amount of wholesome foods. Whole food that you've picked out the ground rather than something that you've bought that's been processed by a shop. Anything that is highly processed, try and reduce. And please, if you're a parent and you've got kids that you're bringing up, the more they can see monkey do, the more your kids see you eating good quality food, the more they're going to eat it. And I would also add into that the more that you do it, the more they do it, the more likely they are to do it when they're an adult as well. We have a growing, I think, a massive pandemic here actually, of this new wave of people that are coming through that A, can't cook, and B, don't understand the importance of eating wholesome foods. So please, if you're responsible for children, please get them to eat healthily. Massively increase the amount of protein into it. About 30% I would go for is your daily allowance of your macros for protein. Drink way more cold water. Remember, having it at cold temperature means you're going to increase your metabolism. So that's really important. And then finally, bring in the HIIT training to your sessions. I'm going to talk a bit more about this again next Thursday at 8:30. So come and join me for that one. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've done that live, give me a hashtag live, hashtag replay, and I'm off to another PT now. Right, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time for the next one. Cheers.